reaction to the reaction to the reaction.
And it just keeps going.
Right, exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's take a live look outside right now. Thunder truck in Lexington. Yeah, Lexington has kind of been a spot we've been looking at here. That's where the snow has been sticking to the highway. We saw that jackknife tractor trailer there earlier. Take it slow.
Yeah, this is a nice reminder because all morning we've been having fun. Chief Meteorologist Matt Noyes joining us. But yeah, there are some serious conditions that people need to watch out for.
You're having fun, yeah? No, we have. Yes, of course. Of course we have. Yes. Look, snowbursts are going to flare up again later this morning, onward in the afternoon. So the roads that you just saw are going to deteriorate again from late morning onward, really. And I'm going to get to why here in a second. Some outages in amounts that go over 6 inches. That's why we're at 17,000 and change in Mass alone right now. With an impending freeze coming in this afternoon, I would say it's best to clear the snow now, and then you can clear it out again at the end of the day when it's all done. So temperatures at 35, 36, Boston and northward. This has been holding off the cold, but the cold is sitting in wait just north and west of Boston. So basically the ocean has been the saving grace for that cold air coming southward, and that's why even though it's been snowing in Boston, it really hadn't been sticking at all in the city. Same thing right up the coastline, 128, it's been sticking, but when you get to Gloucester, I mean, you've got hardly anything right along the immediate shoreline. It's been hard to get it to accumulate much. Then you get up to the Merrimack Valley. Jackpot running in along the Mass-New Hampshire border through Lowell. Having said that, you've been the jackpot so far, but we'll get some more snow to come for a number of spots. Worcester, you mentioned the airport and Storm Ranger. Here's our live mobile Doppler radar, keeping watch on a steady but fairly light to moderate snow right now. Actually, the airport just checked in with 9 inches of snow on the ground. Remember, that's 1,000 feet in elevation. It's a bit less than that when you get downtown. Off to the north and west, the deep blue. Here we go, coming down Route 2, Greenfield to Orange in western Massachusetts. That's the first of the renewed bursts of snow. It's just a wet mix in southeastern Mass, but see, that's part of the issue. Even where you've rained, you're going to end up freezing later on, and that means that things will turn a little icy later. Look, with gusts to 35 miles per hour at Boston, over 20 even inland, that's been promoting some of the power outages. I said 6 inches or more because the snow isn't super heavy and wet. If it were, I'd say 4 inches or more, but that would be enough, probably with 6 inches or greater and gusty breeze to knock out the power. So here comes the next disturbance. It's pretty well defined over upstate New York, right? That's what needs to come through. So amounts are already at 11 inches in Salem, New Hampshire, 9 at Nashua, 4.7 at Framingham, 3.5 at Saugus. Here's a map of how much your reports are equaling to for what we've seen so far. So far, you've had at 8 to 12 zone, right? Zoom the view out. You did that also in parts of Connecticut. Northern New England, the snow has been expanding and falling across much of New Hampshire and southern Maine. So what about snow rate in terms of when this next round comes in? Here's 12:15. That's inch per hour snow in deep blue around Worcester County. Half inch per hour snow into I-95 at 12:15. So really it's between 11 a.m. and about 3:15 or 3:30 p.m. that you're going to have the worst conditions that come back in. But this time it's going to happen with that cold air out of the Merrimack Valley and the 95 corridor north and west of town pouring south. So that's why it can stick a little bit better later in the day. Southeastern Mass, 1 to 2, Plymouth to New Bedford, a dusting to an inch on the upper Cape, nothing on the outer Cape, 2 to 4 sitting south of Boston. Look, this is generally speaking, and it almost seems weird to say 4 to 6 additional inches on top of the 8 to 12 that you already have. I think what's going to happen here is it's probably going to be in bursts. You're going to get, it's almost like widespread showers and thunderstorms in the summer. You're going to get these heavier bursts of snow, and that's where you'll find the amounts adding up a little bit more. But the other thing is because the air has turned so cold in the 495 to 95 belt, it's going to be a fluffier snow. Easier to move around, which is why I say why don't you get rid of the heavier stuff now and then deal with the rest later. But also it adds up faster if it's fluffier, right? And you still got more snow to go, 4 to 6 when you run from Lake Winnipesaukee out to Sebago Lake and running out to Portland, Maine for that matter as well. Things have been messy in much of central and northern New England. And then eventually, obviously, if we're talking about a freeze going on this afternoon, by tonight, everybody's into that freeze, right? So everything kind of locks in. I've been mentioning earlier, though, if you can show just some patches of blacktop by this evening when it's all done, if you can get it down to some patches, nature's going to help you tomorrow. Be a friend. We get to about 35 to 40 with some sun. Okay, extended forecast. What's that? First alert Wednesday. Here we go again. Well, sort of. It's a little mix inland on Tuesday evening. It will snow a lot in the mountains, but for southern New England, it's going to end up going to rain. There'll be some ponding of water. There'll be some gusty wind that could knock out power Wednesday morning. So that's the first alert there. Then maybe a little bit more unsettled again by Saturday. See you again coming up in a few.
All right, Matt, a lot to track over the next week. And don't forget, you can do it too. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen. Download the NBC 10 Boston app. You'll have access to radar, 10-day forecast, and you can get those alerts for your hometown.